Hello everyone, it's me, Coffee Stitcher. It is the last Sunday in January. I know I said I wasn't going to do a weekly video, but the prompts and whip go for February were gonna make for a really messy, or at least I felt messy way of trying to tackle in the middle of the month. So, at least probably for February, I'm going to aim for weekly videos. I don't know if I'm going to really return to doing full weekly videos or not. But at least probably for February I will. We'll see. Best I can say. Alright, so, as always, first things first, we're going to do the Q&A. There's no haul this week. I should definitely have some haul next week. And then, we'll discuss Whip Go goals, we'll discuss the week ahead for Magical Stitches. I've got a finish. So I've got some fun stuff to show y'all. So, we'll dive right on in. The first question came from EJ Creates. And there's actually a couple of questions. She asked the yellow fabric that I'm using for inspiration, and I can never remember the name of it. It's Willow from Picture This Plus. She also wanted to know, could I compare the Sulky 12-weight to the Aurifil 12-weight? And the answer is, yes, I can. So, and I happen to have both right here. So, in terms of the, like, how you use them, they're very, very much the same. Both of them, like, here's the Sulky, here's the Aurifil. Hold this behind it so you can sort of see. So, as you can see, thickness-wise, they're just about the same. There's not really a huge difference in that regard. This is the one problem with it. There we go. What I will say, though, what I do find to be different, so in terms of how they arrive, they're both on spools. The 12 weights both are, you basically use one strand. However, what I have found to be true that makes the difference, Aurifil doesn't shred until you get right towards the end, or if you have counting errors and you have to frog the same section like 3 or 4 times, then it starts to. But so does DMC, really. So, but I don't find that Aurifil shreds midway through the way Sulky has a slight tendency to do. I don't have the issues with knotting on Aurifil like I do really any other floss. Aurifil's really, really, really good knot to knot. And on the off chance it does, you can usually get it unpicked fairly quickly and easily. The other thing that I will say for Aurifil is it's, and I'm not really sure how to describe it describe this best. It's more consistent in its thickness. Like, I notice, I keep wanting to say weaving, and that's not really right, but there's no, the way your length is from beginning to end, it's always that same thickness. Whereas I notice Sulky has a tendency to sometimes get a little thicker in places and then a little thinner. It's uniform across the spool. In terms of the amount, it's the same amount on a spool, 50 and 50 yards. But I think overall, Aurifil is a higher quality product as compared to Sulky. Not to say that Sulky's bad, but it's kind of like using, it's kind of like the difference between that cheap sort of bundled embroidery floss pack you can get at like Walmart that has like 10 colors in it versus actual DMC. So it's not that the other is bad, it's just this is better. So I hope that answers your question. If I had to choose, it would be Aurifil all the way. If I had the ability to use Aurifil for all of my stitching, I would actually go for Aurifil. They don't have as many colors as DMC, and their variegated options aren't really there, and there's no metallics, which answers, I think, Deborah's question. But overall, it really is a great product. So yes, to answer your question, Deborah, no, Aurifil does not have a line of metallics. They do have a monofilament, and I've got it. I haven't really had a cause to use it yet, largely because I don't even really remember the last time I needed monofilament for anything. Probably when I was doing Beanie Baby productions of The Wizard of Oz and I needed to fly something. Okay. And that ends the Q&A. So again, there was no haul this week. So, let's go over what I worked on. I did get Wicked Siblings out and stitch on it, but I just wasn't feeling it last week. Last week was kind of an odd week, across the board. So, let me show you what I did work on. So, let's see, I worked on this on Sunday, and I worked on it yesterday. So I finished part 1 of the Little Red Riding Hood Parade by the Frosted Pumpkin Stitchery. This is on Ale from Picture This Plus, and it's using almost all Aurifil 28 weight, which is, let's show you an actual spool. So the 28 weight, all of it comes on a spool. It's similar to one strand of DMC. So you do 2 strands. It gives beautiful coverage. There is a little bit of Aurifloss, which gives very similar coverage, and a bit of 12-weight Aurifil. But really, they work so seamlessly together, and their colors are so consistent across weights that you don't really notice that there's a difference. The light red is the called for variegated licorice red. I did part of the wheels. I'm debating if I actually even want to include the wheels or not. I'm going to kind of wait and see, because I like it, and I get that it's a parade, and they're floats, but I'm not sure that's what I want to do. So, but here she is, in all her super cute glory. So the next part comes out a week from Thursday on the 10th. So this one will be going away for just a smidge, because there's not anything else I can do on it. Alright, so then what else did I work on? I worked on Nutcracker by SodaStitch, and my goal was to finish the bottom portion. Here's the pattern, which I succeeded with. I also finally backstitched the snowflake up on the top. So this is on Christmas in Williamsburg Gold Opal from Under the Sea Fabrics. So I've just got this one more part to do. So this one should be a February finish. Set you there because I'm going to need you again momentarily. Then I did pull out and work on... just knocked my bucket over. There we go. I did work on the Veronique and Enginger Little Mermaid. This is on As You Wish from Under the Sea Fabrics. Got it. Nah. Sorry. Hoop. Badoo. Okay. So here's where I'm at on her. I fixed what I did basically was I went and I frogged out the face where I'd messed up and I restitched it in. It's a little hard to tell. I think I'm actually probably going to go back over with a slightly darker blue, but I did give her blue eyeshadow so that she would be more like the Shirley Temple one because that's who I'm basing this one off of. This is what I'm going to work on today because my plan is I want to finish her hair. So finish out the hair, finish out the face, kind of basically her top half. I won't really do any more back stitching other than I had to for her face because it was weirding me out. So I basically want to finish out her top half. So that next month my plan will be to finish her tail. So that's going to be my plan for today. I don't know why I just zipped that back shut. Okay, then the big finish. Are y'all ready for this? So the last part of Cryptids came out. We had an option of 3 Cryptids. We could do either Bigfoot, the Hodag, or and she gave it 2 names, the Popelik Monster or Goatman. Well, in my area, there's actually 2 Goatman legends. One was featured on BuzzFeed Unsolved, and it's up around the Denton, Texas area, which is also, coincidentally, where the Rocky Horror sequel was going to be filmed before a strike forced them to film it in England on a soundstage. So, when they talk about Rocky Horror and they're talking about Denton, that's where it is. Coincidentally, also Meatloaf graduated from went to the college that's in Denton, so that's all sorts of fun little bits there. And there's one that's about 20 minutes, like, sort of northwest of Fort Worth, on a lake. So, I did the Goatman. So, here is my finish. This was done entirely in Aurifil's 12 weight, with the exception, obviously, of the metallics. And I used a Rainbow Gallery for the words. It's a very dark blue. It shows up much more better in person. Oh, that was a great English. It shows up better in person. I used acrylic for the moons and the little silver things along the side, as well as the red. And then the gold, a couple of them are acrylic, but a couple of them are also, but one of them was a Rainbow Gallery. This is on Victoria by Deerfoot Fibers. Like I said, I used all Aurifil 12 weight. And the Aurifil 12 weight black gives the absolute best coverage of black, period. I mean, the coverage of Aurifil is really generally very, very good overall, but the black, there's very little gapping. You see it, like, if you're real right up close on it, like if you come in, you can see in some spots where you see the fabric through, but when you're actually, like, at a distance of where it's going to be, there's no gapping. It's beautiful. It's fabulous. It used, like, an entire spool and 3/4 of another one. And I can't say enough good things about it. So, there you go. So this was a lot of fun. I know she said that there will be a companion piece as a stitch along. They'll be coming out later this year. I do not know if I will do it or not, simply because as much awesomeness as that was a crap ton of black, and I'm just not sure I can commit to that again. At least not this quickly. That being said, she does have a pattern or two that I want to do, as well as Universal Monsters, which I've already got started. So there will be more Witchy Stitcher coming. So that is what I worked on this week. Yay. Okay, so let's talk whip go first, because that's going to be shorter. So this month, the 5 and 17, I believe. 17 were called. Also, that was my my whip go goal. So my whip go for this month is done, because it was 300 stitches on the closest finish, and I way overdid 300 on that one. So this month, the number 17 square was 3 stitch long parts, which that's going to be easy to do because I've got Little Red Riding Hood Parade. I've got part 1 of Narnia comes out on the 12th. And then there's the weekly one from Victoria Sampler that I've been doing. So that's going to be no problem. Even if I just do one from each of those, I'll finish that one. This week's Victoria Sampler involved cut work. So all I could do, because that'll be done at the end, the cut work and the beads. So all I could do were 2 just straight lines. So I'm not going to bother showing all that because why would you care? Ooh, 2 straight lines. Look at me go. So hopefully next week there won't be cut work and I'll have more to show you. The other one was 500 on a whip chosen by Michelle Bindi Stitches. Yay, Michelle. So she picked Haunted House, which is the Bent Creek one. So it's the Petrified Party. My goal was I wanted to do this part here. So that should put me right around or really darn close to 500 stitches. If it doesn't, then I don't know what I'll do. We'll figure something out though. But here's where that's at project-wise. So this is the one that was it's on a one-off from Fortnite Fabrics. So I'm gonna do some fun color picking on that because I want to find a nice sort of gray-green sickly color for the Bride of Frankenstein, and probably something as well for the vampire. So I'm looking forward to that. All right, so that is the that's Whip Go. Now for magical stitches, week 1, which I think starts tomorrow. I need to clarify that. We've got 4 tasks to complete. It's supposed to be 100 stitches per task. If we don't have a project that fits it, then we can do 100 stitches on our oldest whip, or we can do 200 stitches on whatever we choose. So, so we shall kind of see what happens with that. And then we've got the monthly, and my goal in the monthly is just 200 stitches. It'll probably end up being more than that. But, so for the first 2 tasks, it's project with a dog and related to the number 7. So I'm going to be working on Wicked Siblings. This is by Mama Witch Cross Stitch. Again, it's on a one-off fabric from Fortnite Fabrics. So I'm not, even though I'm not actually going to stitch the skeleton of the dog because it makes me too sad, there is a dog skeleton there. Maybe a cat skeleton, but I'm calling it a dog because it could really go either way. And then related to the number 7, I've got 7 leaves that I have to stitch on this side. There's also 7 mushrooms on the pattern, so that would count as well. So what my goal is for this month, or for February on this one, is going to be to finish the leaves along the bottom. Actually, now I'm kind of more in the mood to work on it than I am on Little Mermaid. I'm either going to work on this or I'm going to work on Little Mermaid. Although if I do that, then I have to refigure my plans because I probably won't want to do another 200 stitches on it. Now we'll work on Mermaid. Okay. So that's going to be tasks 1 and 2. Task 3 is to work on a whip with 4 squares. So that's going to be Nutcracker. So what I'm going to try and do on that, because it's going to come back again later in the month, is I'm going to try and do, because I think it's about 200 stitches, or about 100 stitches to do this little border here. So I'm basically going to try and do the border parts and finish those out, and then it'll be fairly smooth sailing once it's time to actually stitch the rest of that. And then for food/drink, I'm going to work on the French kitchen, which is my new moon, new start, which will be Tuesday. So I've got to get 100 stitches in on that. I need to have a jam session with Oliver and figure out exactly what I want to do with these and measure out my fabric. I think I definitely have enough space, I think, to do all 4 of them across. But I may also be able to do it where I could stitch them individually and then let him do the really cool finishing technique. I just don't know. So, I'll harass him a little bit. Before Tuesday, at least. Probably today, though, because I need to probably figure out my fabric layout today. So that way I'm just ready to start on Tuesday. And then my monthly one is going to be it's different room themes. So the garden room had a theme of flowers and plants. So I'm going to be doing Secret Garden, because, obviously. So, and I'm going to do 200 stitches. I'm going to start up here with these flowers, and then we'll kind of work from there and see how I'm feeling. This is a moccasin from Fortnite Fabrics. But here it is. Ta-da! The nice thing with these, that it's like 100, 200 stitches, for the most part, those can be, I can get the weekly ones done in a day or 2. Because I can usually hit at least 2 projects a night. Which then leaves me time on the monthlies. And then, once I hit the stitch count on the monthly, then it's sort of free game from there. So that's kind of everything for me today. Alright, so I hope everyone has a great week. I will see you next week, and we'll discuss the next week's stuff. Yeah. Have a great day, y'all.